Coming to you live from Isla Nublar, it's the 10 Point Podcast. My name is Bruce. Quiet, all of you that are approaching the Tyrannosaur podcast. With me on the tour of the park this week, you'll have to get used to him. He suffers from a deplorable, excessive personality. It's Chris.
Life finds a way.
And secondly, the lack of humility he displays staggers me. It's Andy.
That's true. I've just remembered, I forgot my awesome hat that I was going to wear during this podcast.
Your Jurassic Park hat, I'm imagining.
I had a Jurassic Park hat. It would have fit on with a headset anyway, but yeah.
Oh, well, no fancy dress.
For hunting.
Oh, right, yeah. Just like Muldoon. We are the 10 Point Podcast. You can find us at 10pointpodcast.com. All your podcast feeds, social networks, Facebook and Twitter, we're 10 Point Podcast on those. And over on YouTube, where you can see video versions of the podcast. Andy and I, earlier in the week, did a podcast on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. We did it without Chris because he hadn't seen it yet, so we didn't want to spoil it for him, and we don't want to spoil it for you. So don't watch that if you don't want to be spoiled on the film. See the film first, then watch us praise and also tear apart the film in probably equal measure, not to give away.
I've seen a lot of spoiler-free stuff, and there are mixed reviews.
There's no such thing as a spoiler-free review. Impossible.
Well, I mean, like, I have like the titles would be like.
It's one of the reasons why Chantel couldn't write a review for our website, because she's like, how to write about this film?
It's hard to review something like this nowadays, especially because the kind of film it is. But anyway, there's a whole 30-minute-ish podcast on it with me and Andy, if that's your sort of thing.
Chris.
Maybe at some point in the future, Chris will see something.
Eventually.
Something new.
One day, you'll see something.
Exactly.
Netflix original, you'll be there Friday.
So that's what Andy and I have been watching in the last week. What has Chris been watching in the last week?
I've not been watching it. Oh no, Malcolm in the Middle. I've started a Malcolm in the Middle rewatch.
Okay.
Absolutely love it.
What inspired that? What took you to that place?
I don't know. It was just I found it on Disney. I was like, do you know what? I don't remember watching all this, so I'm going to watch it.
It's a banger. It's still good.
Hal is hands down the best thing in that.
Like, that's literally how I imagine you being a dad, by the way.
Oh, I'm taking loads of parenting skills from this now. I found ways to ground my kids I never knew possible.
I bet you, when you were younger, I bet you loved either Malcolm or one of the other kids the best.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I always liked Hal because he's kind of like, he's fun. He's the dad you always wanted.
Right. Okay. I think I've probably seen maybe half of Malcolm in the Middle, but I only ever watched them once when they were new back in the day. Like I've never ever never thought, oh, I'll turn that back on again. I've never done what Chris is doing essentially.
Yeah. Oh, I have to watch it over and over again. It's so good.
Right.
That's one to go roller skating to the park.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that before. Anything you want to add, Andy? We did Doctor Strange, a whole podcast on it. Anything else exciting?
I went and watched Everything, Everywhere, and All at Once.
Yes. The film, what you call Multiverse of Madness could have been, allegedly.
Yes, basically.
Oh, that's with Michelle Yeoh or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Michelle Yeoh and Keely King Hong, or whatever he's called, from the Goonies podcast we did, whatever, I can't remember his name.
Oh, right, okay, is he in that? I didn't realise he was in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's basically his 11th film that he's ever done. He did Indiana Jones, Goonies, some random stuff. The Goonies remake, which was basically set in Hawaii a couple of years ago for Netflix, and then this.
I've missed that.
That's the first half, yeah.
I've missed that.
It's not actually like proper true Goonies remake, but it is pretty much. It's Goonies in Hawaii.
Right, okay. Let's see.
But yeah, I went and watched it. People like me, I need to give you a warning. It's 50-50 in Mandarin and English.
Right.
Do not be fooled by the trailers, which are all in English, including bits that are in Mandarin in the film. Like, scam alert, just
bloody Marvel behind that as well.
There. But yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis as well. It's the right. I looked at Chantel at the end of the film, and she just turned around to me because she really wanted to see it. Massive Michelle Yeoh fan. She just went, "I'm sorry," and I just looked. I went, "Yeah," because I didn't know if I hated it or not. I walked out. And like Chantel's like, you hated that film. I was like, I don't know. Genuinely, I know. Like there are some bits that they're so fucked up. Like it is amazing. Like I can't even say what it is because you just have to go in and watch it and just go, did I see that? And it's amazing. There's bits that are just like, holy shit, this is the best cinema I've seen in years. And then you switch to and going, fuck me, this is a 2.5 hour long film. And then it's like. Then I'm like, I watched Doctor Strange. This is better than Doctor Strange. This has got like 1 million multiverses in it. Like this is what Doctor Strange should have been.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, I'm only an hour in. Like, it was literally like that. It was all over the shop, and it was done by the Russo brothers, produced it as well. So, some talent in there, talent all the way through that film. But you guys have to watch it because I, if we did a podcast on it, I don't even think I can review it.
Right, yeah.
It's all over the shop.
If I do go and see it, I won't reserve an extra half hour for you and me to go through it.
I would, because I don't think I can explain it. And there's bits in it that will break Chris. Chris has this certain funny fuse, and there's about 4 bits in the film where I was just like, Chris would actually be crying right now. He'd be on the floor dying.
I was gonna say that fucked up part reminded me. I actually did watch a film, The Acid House. I fell asleep and woke up to a certain point in this film of, do you know that baby in Trainspotting, where it's crawling on the ceiling?
Yeah, on the ceiling, yeah.
There's a baby in this, which is twice as fucked up. It's a talking baby. And it's supposed to be like this film that set in Scotland, people on acid. I think it's done by the same writer that did Trainspotting, something Welsh. I can't remember his name now.
Art Welsh.
That's it, yeah. It is fucked up. So yeah, waking up to a talking baby just threw me off completely.
Especially when you have a baby.
Yeah, it was aye. So watch Acid House. You'll think you're on acid.
Yeah, and everything everywhere all at once as well.
Yeah,
so
I came out thinking I took some serious mushrooms. I've never taken mushrooms, but that's exactly how I imagine mushrooms.
As you think it will be. Right, we better crack on before we talk about any more films. I have nothing else to add beyond Doctor Strange. Have a listen to that. So point number 1 on the podcast is, what is the point? The point this week, the 1993
Jurassic Park
action, adventure, sci-fi thriller Jurassic Park, as Andy said. Brought to us by Universal Pictures. We've done them a whole bunch of times before. Some examples: Jaws, The Blues Brothers, Howard the Duck, The Burbs, and Tremors. They all came before Jurassic Park. And after Jurassic Park, it made Street Fighter, Casper, Waterworld, and The Mummy. You pick a side. I don't know if it was better before or after.
They're all over the bit.
Yeah, and also produced by Amblin Entertainment, Steven Spielberg's production company. We've done them before. They produced The Goonies and they produced Casper as well. So we have done both. Written by Michael Crichton. He did the novel and then the screenplay for Jurassic Park. He wrote such things that were put into TV shows and films and all that as The Andromeda Strain, Westworld, Jurassic Park, ER, the TV show, which kind of stands out, Twister, and Sphere. I put Sphere at the end because I remember going to see that film at cinema. But the screenplay was also co-written by David Koepp, or Koepp, K-O-E-P-P. David Koepp. He's actually got quite a lot of credits to his name here. So he did Death Becomes Her before Jurassic Park. Yeah, and he did The Lost World as well. And then throughout the 90s and 2000s, he did Carlito's Way, Mission Impossible, Stir of Echoes, which it was one of his famous things, but I don't really know it too well. Panic Room, the first Spider-Man film that Andy and I mentioned briefly on the last podcast, War of the Worlds, the Tom Cruise one, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and then Angels and Demons and Inferno, the two Tom Hanks films from the 2012. So again, all over the place with all these different genres that he's written for. He wrote Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park, directed by Steven Spielberg, as mentioned. A lot of famous films. You may have heard of at least about 20 of these. Duel, Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, all the Indiana Jones films, E.T., Hook, Jurassic Park and The Lost World, Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan, Minority Report, Catch Me If You Can, Lincoln, Bridge of Spies, Ready Player One, and most recently West Side Story. Steven Spielberg, quite a good director, has done quite a lot of films. Chris is reacting. Chris hasn't heard of the West Side Story.
I've heard of it. I didn't realise it was him that did it.
It was him. He did that. Yeah. Okay, Jurassic Park stars as Dr. Alan Grant, Sam Neill. And he's one of these actors where I'm like, Sam Neill, and I realise I don't know what I have seen him in because I know him from Jurassic Park.
I was really close to picking this for my best of British because I was certain he was British.
Yeah, Australian? Is that right?
Northern Ireland, I think he's from.
Oh, is he? Yes.
So I could have done it.
Yeah. Well, not Northern Irish is British, so it would have counted if he is from Northern Ireland.
Just like John Hammond, it fits Bruce.
Yeah, I know.
It fits my category with John Hammond. So Sam Neill, The Hunt for Red October, The Piano, the same year as Jurassic Park. I thought it was quite a good double header for award seasons. He was in critically acclaimed Piano, major blockbuster Jurassic Park back-to-back in the year 1993. He also came back for Jurassic Park 3. And then after that, Event Horizon and Hunt for the Wilder People seem to be the most successful films that he was in.
I didn't forget about his absolute bang of a role in Thor 3.
Yeah, I'd written that as well. Yeah, I had it in my notes that he was he played Odin, didn't he, in Thor Ragnarok?
I did not know that was him until I looked at the credits. Where the fuck was Sam Neill in it?
Co-starring as Dr. Ellie Sattler. I had to look her name up. I've watched this film a good few times before. I don't think I've ever clocked what her name is in the film. Dr. Ellie Sattler. Laura Dern. Famously was in Mask, not The Mask, but the film Mask. Then she was in Blue Velvet before being in Jurassic Park, and she also came back for the third one. Other things you may have seen her in: Wild, Star Wars The Last Jedi, Marriage Story, where she won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress, and she was in the most recent Little Women version that was in cinemas. And I jumped Jeff Goldblum, we've had him before, because I think this might be our best chance to say, as John Hammond, Richard Attenborough. I don't think we'll hit too many Richard Attenborough films if he was next in the credits. Famous for, certainly for me, The Great Escape, and that is probably his most famous role outside of this that I've ever seen him in. And then The Sand Pebbles, a film from way back when, apparently was one of his most famous ones. Can't say I am too knowledgeable on it. And then, something I wasn't aware of, he had 0 acting credits between 1979 and 1993, because he just became a director and started directing things. Won Best Director and Best Picture at the Oscars for Gandhi when he made that, and then unretired from acting to play John Hammond in Jurassic Park.
Yeah. He is the original Santa Claus for me.
Exactly, and then he made Miracle on 34th Street after.
I need to interrupt for some breaking news. So you know how we've got this uncanny thing of
God, right, yeah.
picking stuff. So London Film and Comic Con, obviously a convention I used to work for, they've just announced Ariana Rich. Literally, like, as we started this podcast, it literally just came up, and it's like, that's amazing.
It's also, I'm assuming the reason that you picked this is that you've met her and others before as well. Like,
yeah, I met her and Sam Neill. So
yeah, so like we wouldn't be doing this podcast if she hadn't been at a previous convention.
And she's coming back now, so she might win awards. We did make her win awards.
Ah, good for get her nominated. Yeah, John Hammond. Richard Attenborough finished with Miracle on 34th Street. Was basically the last big thing that he acted in. But yeah, I'm unaware of his 14-year gap where he wasn't acting in the middle. Back to Jurassic Park. On a budget of $63 million, obviously 1993 money, but I still think that's an underestimate. I think there must have been far more money. Like, promotion-wise, must have doubled that. Opened in the US for $47 million. Final US gross, $404 million. Final worldwide gross for Jurassic Park, and I think the first time I've ever said this, $1.1 billion. I think this is our first $1 billion. I could be wrong.
Remember what I said on Doctor Strange? Let's make Jurassic Park films.
yeah. Well, they are.
Correct, though.
Jurassic Parks are ever depleting returns, though. We'll soon find out, I imagine. But yeah, I think it's the first $1 billion we've ever done, because even Star Wars didn't hit $1 billion. Jurassic Park first released the 11th of June 1993. Made it eligible for the 1994 awards season. I have tried to abbreviate this as much as possible. So, 1994 Oscars, Jurassic Park was mentioned. It had 3 nominations. It won all 3 of them. Best Sound Effects Editing, and Best Visual Effects. At the 1994 BAFTAs, it won the vote for Most Popular Film, and it had 2 nominations. Won Best Special Effects, but it lost Best Sound to The Fugitive, which came out that year as well. 1994 MTV Movie Awards, 3 nominations. Nominated for Best Action Sequence, the T-Rex Jeep scene. It lost to the train wreck from The Fugitive, which, I mean, that's a pretty good scene in The Fugitive, in all honesty.
It's can't even remember it. It's that.
No. Good. It's good. It's good. It's not massively important to the.
It's not a fucking T-Rex chasing a Jeep. That's good. I
know. Look at it. Right behind that, just heat. Oh, they're chasing Jeep, or they mean destroying the Jeep?
I think chasing after when it was going in the back.
That's Goldblum's best acting I've ever seen.
That covers some ground.
Let's go faster.
Second nomination at the MTV Movie Awards was Best Villain. Who do you think the Best Villain nominee was from this
John Hammond.
Nedry.
The T-Rex. Did not win, though. Somehow Somehow, Alicia Silverstone from The Crush was worse. I've never heard of that film. So apparently she was a
T-Rex can't even win a bloody award.
Yeah.
How can she be worse than a T-Rex? I need to watch this film and see what happens.
Exactly. And speaking of films I need to watch, because this comes up quite regularly, nominated for Best Movie, Jurassic Park was, and it lost. It lost to Menace to Society, one of these legendary, out of nowhere, how the hell did Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park, not win Best Movie of the Year at the TV Awards? Menace to Society, a sort of gritty, foul-mouthed kind of urban drama set, and I think in California in the mid-90s and all that sort of stuff won. The list of nominees for Best Movie that year are hilarious. It's Menace to Society, Jurassic Park, I think The Fugitive, and then Schindler's List in Philadelphia. It's like, whoa, look at one end to the other.
Tell you what, I used to respect MTV, but after that, Jesus, they can go suck one.
It's the one. If you look through the winners of the award throughout the 90s, it's like blockbuster, 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 Menace to Society, blockbuster, blockbuster, blockbuster. It's mental. But of course, the one award ceremony we all care about is the 1994 Saturn Awards.
Clean that house.
I was going to say, if this isn't a clean sweep, then we're done with Saturn Awards.
Steven Spielberg won the President's Award, which seems to be like a special award for someone who did really well in the last however long. I don't know if it's a yearly or a decadely sort of thing, but Spielberg got a special award. 11 nominations for Jurassic Park. Best costumes. Didn't jump out at me.
Right.
Lost to Hocus Pocus. Activate Chris.
Yeah, that's a good one. I wouldn't say
Yeah.
costume, it's just normal clothes.
He does love titties.
Best music. Jurassic Park. This is one. I know someone will be like, what? And they'll be like, ah, okay. So it lost. This did. Best music. But it won to The Nightmare Before... What won was The Nightmare Before Christmas won.
All right, aye.
So I was surprised, but yeah, makes sense. Best special effects, Jurassic Park won, of course. Best performance by a younger actor, both Ariana Richards and Joseph Mazzello were nominated. Neither won. Elijah Wood in The Good Son won best performance by a younger actor.
Ah, since you brought up Timmy, I had no idea that was Roger Deakins from Bohemian Rhapsody.
Ah, I think you mean John Deacon, don't you? Rather than
John Deacon, that's Roger Taylor, aye.
Roger Taylor, yeah. I did not know that. Also, but before we go any further, I talked about Ellie Statler. Can either of you tell me what Ariana Richards' character's name is?
Nah.
What? For what?
What is Ariana Richards' character's name in Jurassic Park?
Lex.
Yeah, well, there you go. Another name I'd completely like. Timmy, I kind of remembered because it says his name quite a lot, but she must get name checked at most twice in this film.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea. Best Supporting Actor, 2 nominees again. Jeff Goldblum and Wayne Knight both nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Neither won. Lance Henriksen from Hard Target won.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay. Best Actress, Laura Dern. She was nominated. She lost, and I actually burst out laughing around this. She lost to Andy McDowell in Groundhog Day, which famously the worst thing in that film was Andy McDowell. And the 3 at the end here, it won all 3 of these, so it was successful, really. And it won Best Writing, Best Director, and Best Science Fiction Film.
The big ones.
So it came away with only 4 of its 11 nominations, but it did pretty well either way. Synopsis of Jurassic Park, written by Amit. I dodged Nick's this week. Nick had written one, but this one was.
I had all the dinosaur names in Latin or something like that.
Yeah. This one's a bit more in depth, I think. So Amit gave us this. On Isla Nublar, a new park has just been built with genetically engineered dinosaurs. Tragedy strikes when one of the workers is killed by a velociraptor. The founder of the park, John Hammond, requests paleontologist Dr. Alan Grant and his assistant Dr. Ellie Sattler come to the park and ensure it is safe. Also joining them are Hammond's lawyer, Donald Gennaro, and chaotician, Dr. Ian Malcolm. When they reach the island, they are amazed to discover that Hammond has created living dinosaurs. However, at the same time, they all have their doubts. Later, Hammond's grandchildren, Lex and Tim, join the group in a tour of the park. Sattler leaves the tour to take care of an ill Triceratops. It's a bizarre sentence when you think about it. Soon the power in the park is shut down by computer systems geek Dennis Nedry, who wishes to steal embryos from the park to sell to a secret buyer. In the process, many dinosaurs escape their paddocks, including the deadly Tyrannosaurus Rex, who, during a thunderstorm, escapes his paddock and attacks the children and eats Gennaro. Malcolm is injured, and Grant and the children are then lost in the park. Meanwhile, Hammond, Sattler, and the rest of the operations team learn that Nedry, who in the meantime has been killed, has locked up the computer system to cover his tracks. They attempt to get power back in the park in order to escape the island. After shutting down the system, then restoring it, the group realizes that velociraptors are also on the loose, and are now on the hunt for the visitors. I don't know why Ahmet decided to tell 9/10 of the film and then stop
the end.
a cliffhanger at the end. Oh, the velociraptors are out there.
Yeah, you got to watch the film and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. So that's most of what happens in Jurassic Park. Who picked? It was Andy. Andy, why did you pick Jurassic Park?
It's a banger. It fits my theme, and I've been wanting to do Jurassic Park for a while because he doesn't like
on my
dinosaurs.
list for a while as well.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Have we seen it before? I saw it in the cinema. Did you guys see it in the cinema?
No.
Nope. I was too young.
Were you? What
Aye.
rating? Was this a PG? Or was this higher than a PG?
93
I don't know.
would be 6, 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was six.
You'd be perfect for this.
I remember this film. I remember it coming out, and my mum would have worked at the garage for the video rentals. So I remember getting it, and then I remember it being a thing. Like it was one of them things where like merchandise seemed to come out before I knew it was a film. So I remember having a T-Rex lunchbox with Jurassic Park on it. I had that.
Me too.
Hadn't seen the film, and then obviously I seen the film, and then my friend Callum. I used to like go and do sleepovers all the time there. So him and his brother had like proper big house, rich cunts as I would call them nowadays.
Right.
And I remember being the most jealous I've ever been. So I'd seen this film. I was like, I like this film. This is dinosaurs. I've got a lunchbox. I'm one up. I think my mum even bought me like Jurassic Park trainers at one stage because I got right into this film. I went into like their thing. They got new beds. Jurassic Park beds.
Duvet covers.
No.
Oh, the
just
beds.
On the beds.
Ah.
They could be either stacked bunk bed style. So but it had like a big massive like wooden thing, but it was a velociraptor, and you could press a button on the headboard and it would roar like a velociraptor. And I remember being the most jealous I've ever been in my life. Of just because he had the velociraptor beds, but then he had the kind of black, red, and yellow like the logo thing on the cover. He had the covers and velociraptors.
Oh.
I was like, I want that.
That does sound great.
I was so jealous.
Yeah.
And I never even got to sleep on them because that was like his big brother's bedroom.
Right.
So he had them, and I was just like, yeah, Callum just had standard beds. It was shit.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
Like Chris says, I want
Jealous
one.
I've ever been in my life.
Yeah. I had a lunchbox as well. I remember when Goldblum says it in the film. I was like, yeah, I think it was blue. I think my one. If I remember rightly.
I remember having nightmares from this film. I used to wake up in the middle of the night and think it was a dinosaur outside my window. But I used to just run into the bathroom, run back, and that was it.
Was that even before The Lost World? Because that literally happened in
Yeah.
The Lost World, doesn't it?
Well, see, The Lost World. Like, since we're talking about it, I used to have a housemate who was terrified to poop on toilets with windows because of The Lost World. She had a proper dinosaur phobia. So she likes like, and when the Jurassic Park, the Lost World, not the Lost World, the other one, Jurassic World came out.
Right, Jurassic World.
All right.
She went to the cinema and watched that maybe 50 times. It was insane because she'd finally got over her dinosaur fear, but she genuinely would have to cover the window when she was on the toilet if she was pooping.
In case the dinosaur eye would come there.
To the window.
Okay then. Which channel will we find this on? I think it's on every channel.
ITV.
DC one.
Oh, okay. We've got every channel. And which version? We all watched the same version, really. The actual film, the set itself is the same. The credits are changed in a couple of versions, and the Chinese version tones down the violence. Like you don't see him getting eaten by the tyrannosaur off the toilet in the Chinese version. But,
Yeah.
All right.
It's the same edited for TV as well. If I don't see the point you show the film before 9 o'clock if you're going to edit it.
Ah, right. Okay, I didn't realize.
There's a lot of stuff like the raptors as well. You'll see them jump and then they'll go to a different scene.
Okay. Right. But we watched the normal version. All the other ones that we watched. Oh, all we watched was the normal one, I should say. On to point 2, I think. Is that where I am? And my notes got completely lost. Point 2 on the podcast is the high points. What I thought the best bits and things were about the film. Andy, why don't you lead us off?
Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's got dinosaurs.
I'll be more specific. I'll go for
You're
the.
thing you're ever going to bring up. Never not good. Dinosaurs.
Yep.
Dinosaurs.
I suppose, yeah, it's definitely something. I don't know. It has, well, I put actually Jurassic World 2 proves that can be bad with dinosaurs. I would say.
Nope. Dinosaurs.
Okay.
Just every dinosaur in this film plays its part well. That's the high point.
My very first one, the Brachiosaurus one.
Like
Even as a kid, I'm
remember
pretty
that
sure that
scene-
gave me a boner. It
first
was
spot that Glory
amazing.
at cinema. I seen it on video, and I still remember watching it on TV, going, "They're real." Like
Yeah.
I think as a kid, I didn't have concept CGI. This thing just looked real, and like even watching it on 4K Blu-ray, it still looks pretty good for like you can see it's a bit out there. There's
A bit
better.
painted up.
93, the CGI in
Well,
this is better than stuff from today.
Yeah, 1993 is still pulling out better special effects than today. You're right, 100%.
You really have to be looking to tell the difference between the animatronic T-Rex and the CGI T-Rex.
Yeah.
Like they're almost flawless.
That one behind Andy, the way that it just shifts from being CGI to animatronic so quickly, it is amazing.
Can't tell. It's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, dinosaurs play their part extremely well in this film.
Yes.
The first sighting one is one of my high points.
I was amazed. Like when you first see it, you'll watch it like then you're like, oh my god, they're so real.
It's that, and it's like the music. Like I'll bring the music up as a high point. It is the most overused same song ever. However, they keep picking different bits of the film,
Yeah.
like different parts of the song in the film. It works.
Yeah.
Like just the chopper coming down. It's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
getting good, and then it just goes really slow, and then just it builds up to that scene we're all talking about, where you get to see the brachiosaur. It's just like, oh my god, it's a fucking massive dinosaur. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It just fits.
Steven Spielberg goes over the top as well, but it does. We're happy with just seeing the dinosaur, but it makes it go up and it's like come down and just make everything shake as if it's real. And it's like, I wish dinosaurs were real.
Yeah.
I used to be able to play the dee-doo-dee on the piano. That's what I did in music classic school. Go,
We're flying through some of my early high points that I had as well. A couple we've jumped over is I really like the opening scene, which I've never actually clocked before. I really like it when films use a viewer's expectation against them. So the beginning of the film is rustling trees with kind of growling noises and all that, and so everyone's like, "Oh, it's a dinosaur," because we're coming to see Jurassic Park. Because I know it's actually the forklift. So I quite like when films do that. So I enjoyed that.
Like every single time I watch this film, I forget that scene as a scene.
Yeah.
I always think it starts with them on a dig site. I always forget the raptor scene is first every single time.
And this one, I don't know if I've really enjoyed it more this viewing through, was Hammond in the caravan being all excited and getting them to come. Like, I thought it was Richard Attenborough was really good in that scene, being all excited and popping the champagne, and like it's all one take as well. There's not much in the way of cutting away from it, so I really enjoyed that scene. And then we've covered all the dinosaur stuff there. Again, I've got the lunchbox thing.
My next one is Mr. DNA nearly helped me pass my biology at school. There wasn't enough questions. There wasn't any questions on dinosaurs though, but I remember like the CG, what was it, cytosine, guanine, thymine, and adenine, all because of this film.
There you go. Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
there's a 23-minute actual thing on YouTube you can actually watch from Mr. DNA.
The whole like the tour video.
The actual tour, somebody's actually like apparently they actually filmed it, so they piece bits in together.
All right.
Yeah, there's a whole 23-minute scene of Mr. DNA, which would be the tour you got to see.
In terms of a filmmaking high point, I very much enjoyed the storm becoming more and more present in the film as it goes through. Like it's very much in the background because it's a nice day, but then the film is happening, but in the background of the film there's announcements being happening, and like Samuel Jackson's checking the weather and all that stuff. I quite enjoy it, and then all of a sudden it becomes vitally important at the most important time when they're at the T-Rex pen. So I do like an impending collision in a film, and this one's done really, really well.
For the longest time, like my next high point is for the longest time has been a low point in this film, but it's now turned into high point, and it is the scene where strap in. You're about to go see some dinosaurs. You're about to go on. You get in the car. That whole thing, the interaction with the kids, and that works. But then you've got this like weird 15, 20 minutes of just nothing happens.
Yes.
And I always hate. I was like, this is the worst part of this film. However, like the more I watch it, I was like, this works because it's making them all pissed, and I'm pissed with them because I'm not getting to see the dinosaurs. This tour is actually shit. And then, like. But yeah, for the longest time, I've always hated that 20-minute chunk of this film until they go and get some
Triceratops.
Oh, something's happening.
Yeah.
I love that in the climax. You're like, You're like, oh, going on this tour with them. He's like, oh yeah, here we go see dinosaurs, and there's nothing. You're so disappointed.
Yeah. But for the longest time, I would say that was my lowest point. But I've actually turned it into a high point because it actually works. I think that's what obviously they were trying to do.
Yeah, it puts you in the film. Yeah.
Yeah, but for the longest time, I always hated that scene. But I've came to appreciate that scene now.
Good. Glad to hear it. Chris, any high points from you?
My next one is the best part of the entire movie. That scene behind Andy, the arrival of the T-Rex. It is amazing. I generally I don't know how to do it. Like from the quietness of just sitting there in the rain, and all you hear is like, "Oh, where's the goat?" And you're like, "Where is the goat? There's been no noise, so where is the goat?" And then splat.
And it's so carefully done that it forgoes the biggest movie mistake in cinema history.
That's coming up later on.
Which we'll get on to, but yeah, it's so good that movie mistake, I don't give a shit.
Yep. This is the first time I've noticed that there is like absolutely no music ever in that bit. Like the whole thing is all sound effects, which really makes that the totally fabricated dinosaur roar, T-Rex roar, which is an epic, famous movie sound now. Yeah. It makes it so much bolder and stronger because there's nothing else going on around about.
I remember getting my 5.1 surround sound system and just putting that scene on. I was blown away.
The water in the cups as well. I think that's just the most famous image from the entire film. The T-Rex attack.
Fun fact, that was a guitar that did that.
The water, yeah.
Yeah, they strummed the guitar and it made it go perfectly vibrate like a footstep.
So the T-Rex is made up of a dog, a penguin, a tiger, an alligator, an elephant.
Those vicious animals, penguins.
Yeah,
that's what they roar like.
So yeah, if you combine all of those sounds together, I don't know if it's mate sounds or aggression sounds, whatever, makes a T-Rex roar. There you go.
Okay.
Fun fact for you.
To double down on Chrissy's fact, apparently I'm positive I heard that it was vodka, not water, that as well, because it made a better ripple if they used vodka rather than water in the cups. Going on at the same time as the T-Rex attack, and kind of a wee bit, it's not just one scene string together. Dennis's run in his van or his Jeep is a high point. I very much like I will never ever forget and stop using you didn't say the magic word like that stuck with me for 20 30 years now, isn't it? 30 years that him hitting like the signpost and the arrow going both ways, not sure which way he's going, and then obviously the culmination with the Dilophosaurus, I believe it was, with the bit sticking out.
I didn't know anything about that dinosaur.
Dilophosaurus do not have venom and do not have them fins that come out.
Completely fabricated, is it? Yeah.
Correct. The name is right, but that dinosaur does not have any of those traits.
It is a dinosaur, but it doesn't look like that. But yeah, I very much enjoyed that, and it's pretty much the third, like I would say, the tertiary storyline in the film is Dennis, because he's kind of. There's a brief 10-minute period where all the films intersect, and then Dennis before that had been separate, and after that is separate. But it's just a little period in the middle of the film where the storm, the kids, the scientists, and Dennis's plan all come together, and then they all go off in different directions again. But yeah, Dennis's run is amazing.
So I'm just talking about that dinosaur, the T-Rex scene. For years, when Muldoon and Ellie say, "I think this was Gennaro," I genuinely thought they were talking about the T-Rex, saying, "Oh, I think this was the T-Rex Gennaro that did all this." I didn't realise they're talking about the lawyers.
Lawyer. Yeah. I still have him written as lawyer in all my notes.
Yeah.
The names aren't driven home too well in this film. There's about 2 or 3 of them I know.
But to go on to your point with that thing he's seen with the Dilophosaurus or whatever it is, that's like the first time where I'm starting to go, these sets are amazing. Like, they have built practical sets on each thing, but that one just works because his car's there. You see him crawling down. He's climbing up the set. It's not like CGI. It's not cut away. Yeah. They did that, and it's like a lot. You know, I love a practical set.
You do. You mentioned, I think, every podcast now.
Exactly. So, but that one scene literally does drive this home. It's got your dinosaurs. It's in the dark. It's pissing it down. There's like a waterfall. There's a car. It's got it all.
I imagine it makes it easier to CGI everything when it's dark, but having the rain must make it even harder to put all these things that aren't actually there in. So yeah, they made their job a wee bit more harder for themselves. My high points kind of slow down here, so I've only really got a couple more after that. My next one is the electric fence.
I love that scene. That scene.
Yeah, I love that. And then,
I've got like a little bit of a low point. Is Timmy literally could have crawled through one of the gaps at the bottom and he was safe. Maybe even Lex to a point.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Or even like, not Hammond, Grant should have stuck with Timmy the entire way instead of just like, oh fuck you, I'm just going to save myself here.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go first. Yeah.
That's like one of my few low points. But
We're not low points yet.
Not a low
I
point.
know. But
I've only got one left, so before we get to that, anyone else got any others they want to rattle through?
The kitchen raptor scene.
That's my last high point. There we go.
I thought it's the first proper look at the raptors because you only see like little bits of them, but this time they come through and you just see the, like, they're just awesome.
Yeah, I actually like the build up to the raptors, like what do you call them, raptor dude, raptor hunter, like call him. Aye, him all the way through. It's like straight away, like these raptors are dicks, and then he's like, oh, he's always like every single time I watch this film, I was like, I don't care what you're saying, I just want to see a raptor.
Stop banging on about the raptors. God's sake,
But all the way through, it's like, wait there, he said they were smart, they work in packs, and then finally, every single thing he said comes to fruition in that kitchen.
I always remembered.
Crafty.
I always thought, you're an absolute idiot. How did you get caught out by the Raptors from the exact plan that you were talking about? But this time I was like, oh no, it's actually Sam Neill that talks about he's got every time I ever watch this film, I was like, Muldoon's an absolute idiot. He knows exactly how these things hunt, and that's how they get them. But I realised, actually,
that's another one of my low points, which you just touched on. So
yeah.
He's supposed to be some like raptor expert, and he gets fucking caught out.
He's not though. He's a big game.
Yeah.
He's like a safari wildlife expert who'd have thought you're the best man to do this, but he doesn't actually know about dinosaurs, whereas Alan Grant does, and he can't tell him this is what they do. So actually, I feel bad for him in the end with his clever girl. Yeah, and basically the raptors and the kids having The Shining in the kitchen is very
absolutely
good.
Amazing.
But,
my final high point is that scene, my hero, the T-Rex. Like that last roar gives you goosebumps.
The babyface turn of the T-Rex at the end. Where he comes. That's why it can't be best villain, as he turns good by saving them from the raptors at the end.
And it's not actually related to this film either. Well, it is, but it's not about the film itself. The Jurassic Park ride in Florida. I think it's now officially shut down. But it is like doing the film. It is the best ride I've ever been on in my life. It's got a T-Rex, it's got raptors, it's got practical effects. It's mind-blowing. It feels like you're getting chased by raptors and a T-Rex.
Oh, good.
Like,
there you go.
Yeah. I just have to give it a high point.
You can probably find it on YouTube. Imagine if it doesn't exist anymore. We better get on then. Low points before we run out of all the time we've got on the podcast. Okay, my first low point. The premise for getting the main characters to the island in the first place. So someone gets killed, and then the insurance company will back off if there are two experts on the island. One of which is Alan Grant, which I'm like, all right, well, he digs up dinosaur bones, not actually necessarily an expert on how they behave. And then Dr. Ian Malcolm, the mathematician / chaotician. Like,
that confuses me as well.
What? Like, how is he an expert on dinosaurs? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And it just seems like
he's good at it.
He's good at it. Yeah, you know about chaos. Dinosaurs are chaotic. It's like that's probably a bad sign for making a park surrounded around them. It's like, the actual premise for getting the team together. If it had just been, we have to open soon, but let's get some proper experts to come and have a look at the park would have been better. But for there to be we need this to happen was a strange.
How fast is John Hammond? Because you see that helicopter land and Dr. Grant and thingy land and go, no, no, no. And they're like maybe about 30 seconds away from the helicopter.
Yeah.
To which then they get there and the pilot's just already pointing. So this old geezer got out.
Yeah.
To at least 5-10 like meters into the fucking little
caravan.
RV.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how did you get out there so fast?
And a guy dressed all in white with a massive white beard. Didn't see him coming out of the helicopter.
Exactly. Like they would have seen him.
Yeah. Has anyone got any low points that aren't the massive issue you have with the T-Rex scene to come up?
Well, it's not really a low point. It's like, how bad must Nedge's money problems actually be for him? Because I think Hammond must have paid a decent wage since he was doing this.
See, I'm with Ned here. Right. The guy is right. He's automated an entire park, which seems to be running on a skeleton crew with him and Samuel Jackson.
yeah, basically.
Right. He's automated it. He seems to have made the entire systems and everything like that. And he's asking for a little bit of a pay rise. Now, I don't know his financial issues. Hammond quite clearly doesn't want to even ask him his financial issues. But the guys went, maybe I should, and Ned says it himself. He underbid for the job. So he's got the job. he's done all this, but then like surely you go, actually, you did a really good job here. Here's some money. Like he's automated everything. And then if he turns around and says no, the first thing I'm doing is nicking your dinosaurs and selling it to the highest bidder, because I would 100% do that.
This is definitely delivered on my recast.
Oh, that makes exactly.
Right. I still think Dennis. My perception is he has no money problems. He is just greedy, as he signed up for this and he's found a way to make quite a lot of money by the sounds of it. Like he was getting offered like literal briefcases of cash to do it. So I think he just wanted some extra money out of it and he had it in. So yeah, I don't know if this is your major issue with this T-Rex scene, but I'll give you what I've written down. There's a 3-foot wall on one side of the T-Rex cage and a huge drop on the other side of the T-Rex. Yet we can see the goat when it's being fed to the T-Rex. The T-Rex can knock a car off the edge of it, despite the fact there's like a 3-foot high wall there that wasn't there before. And also, why is there a toilet outside the T-Rex enclosure?
All of that is correct. But to add to the point is where the car goes down is exactly the same point as the T-Rex walks through, which is like a 100-foot drop.
Yeah. That drop is taller than the T-Rex.
Yes.
Yeah, clearly.
And like I said, the goat was there, T-Rex was there, same hole, cars are way down there.
Exactly.
So that is like the biggest movie mistake in cinema history. Plus, then you're right, they've got the wall which magically got up and over.
Yeah, the car just goes and falls over.
And pushed it over. And then, like, it's a continuing low point through this film is, one, why is there a toilet right next to the T-Rex paddock? Because that seems like a bit of an issue.
Well, you gotta go.
No, because like those cars were like the door locks were broken, which they said early doors, which makes sense why they came out.
Yeah.
So, but if the passenger, what do you do if you're in the car and suddenly, like, I don't know how long the tour is, like half an hour, 2 hours, whatever. What do you do? Wave at the camera, going, "I need a shit, right? They need a shit. Stop. Paddock. There's a toilet there."
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't make sense.
Maybe it said staff only. I never noticed.
Well, that's the thing. I thought it might be for staff, yeah, but it seemed like it was too well branded to be for.
Yeah.
If it was,
You do not brand it up, and then the same with wherever thingy was going, Ned, with these thing, like he's going all these back roads and stuff like that, and these tiny little signs. It's just like they're branded up, they're tiny. Like surely you'd have a better one-way, like a road system or a one-way system.
Yeah.
And it must have quite clearly went through one of the paddocks, or that little thing managed to get out the paddock.
Yeah, because I had to open a gate at one point. It's like, why would you even go that way?
Yeah.
Like, I know it's his 18-minute run to get to the boat.
Surely any runs or pathways you wouldn't make go through a dinosaur paddock.
Yeah.
So I learned that by playing the Jurassic World game.
Yeah.
That and raptors are dicks, and they will always break it
Yes.
every single time without fail.
I was thinking actually, I just thought of this now. If Tim can survive a 10,000 volt shock, that T-Rex, nothing's stopping that thing getting through that gate.
Yep.
Even with the power on, it'll just burst through it.
Even if each one of them is its own separate current, and he gets all 20 fence bits electrocuting him.
Bruce will know about this, right? Bruce will get this analogy. Okay. There's a difference between getting zapped and surviving than getting a little static shock and hitting your nipple. It's annoying, and you don't want it to happen.
I'm not sure why I'm an expert on that.
Because you used to pick up all our perspex, which was always...
yes, I did, yeah. Aye.
You know what's going to happen, and you don't want it to happen, but getting a little static shock, if you could avoid it, you're not going to. So if you touch that fence once, you're like, I'm not touching that.
I'm not going to.
Put a good in here. Goats randomly come up. I'm eating a goat.
Yeah, I'm getting the free goat once a day, yeah. I've only got the one more low point, which I'll hit because it's not a major thing, which is the first time I felt like the CGI was pretty but it was when the herd of things runs at them and they hide behind the log out in the field. And at that, again, I'm not particularly sure why that scene really is there, like, unless they were, I feel like this bit of the film's suffering from a lack of dinosaurs. Throw a herd of this random one out and we can do that bit. Again, it's just the T-Rex comes at the end, eats one of them, and they kind of hide. And again, they hide behind the log, and they're like, "Stay low!" And like behind them is just open plain behind them. Like, if that T-Rex gets alerted by movement, which is an issue we've dodged with the previous scene, it's going to see them as, "Oh, I'm hungry. I'm going to get another goat." As a human being, but it's yeah. So that scene is my last low point. I have nothing else more to slag off other than that.
My next bone is Dr. Grant's insistence that if you don't move, a T-Rex won't see you. Like, how would he ever in a million years know that? Like, maybe they think he's got like a blind spot because his eyes are kind of to the side of his head. But all it has to do is go like that. It goes, oh, I can see you now.
And as they said, that it has zero sense of smell as well.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely
But
no.
you heard it sniffing.
Yeah, and it's like it's sniffing these things. Yep, that's not edible. Like, how does it not tell? Yeah, the goat maybe just is tied to where it is and barely moves. And it's like, oh, that's lunch, and goes mad. Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, I don't know if it's true or false. It might be true. That's what T-Rex is.
I've got a last little point. If I was paying, like that greedy lawyer said, like thousands of pounds and whatever, I don't want to go to a place and get some sea bass.
It
Shit.
looks nice, but
No, it did not. They looked awful. Oh, Bruce froze. Hey, he's back.
Oh, did I have I frozen?
yeah, there was no
No,
like.
that was the pound of
option.
shredded carrot on top. That was my
Yeah.
issue. Like, here's sea bass, orange on top of it.
But when I'm thinking, right, Jurassic Park, I don't know if it's because the film's put it in my head or whatever, I'm thinking, I'm going to a place like Jurassic Park, I'm thinking Flintstones, I'm thinking big ribs, big juicy burgers, like I don't want a tiny little sea bass.
No.
I want some T-Rex leg.
Yeah, you want like meat made up to be like dinosaurs. That's what you're looking
Yes,
for.
that's what
Oh,
I want.
Turkey dinosaurs. That's what they should serve.
That's
But I don't want some sea bass. I don't want to see fucking underwater dinosaurs. Bullshit.
Any final low points from you, Chris?
I've got a couple. Like, it's near the end when Grant's shooting at the dinosaurs through the window, and Hammond screams at him not to shoot. It's like they're coming to kill your grandkids. Just like, don't be a dick.
No, no reason to stop them.
Dinosaurs are his babies.
I bonded with them all. Yeah.
My final one is how the T-Rex managed to sneak up on everybody in that last point and nobody noticed it.
It does seem to tip after the first scene where it's
It's like tiptoeing across. It's like people know me coming by. Like,
Do you think raptors are smart? The T-Rex knows. It's like, wait there, if I roar and stomp around, people know I'm coming. If I sneak up on them, I'm getting some dinner here.
I always eat at that point. Yeah. Okay, then. Better crack on with point 4. Point 4 is it's been so long since we started this podcast. Point 4 of 10 is stats. 4 shits. I had not realised how sweary Laura Dern is in this film. When the car is driving away, she just rattles off 3 shits one after another, and then the big pile of shit that Jeff Goldblum spots is the other one. So
I thought he said that twice. No, he says that's one big pile of shit. Goes, and that's another. I must be thinking of something else.
Maybe. No F-bombs in the film. Are there no explosions? I can't remember seeing any. I didn't count them. Obviously, I didn't see any. But I'm like, you'd have thought something exploded, but seemingly no one ever did anything that exploded anything. And 5 deaths, which is actually quite funny when you think about it. There's this carnage of dinosaurs, but they're all pretty much it's the guy at the beginning, and then it's the characters in the film that don't survive. It sounds stupid, but like there's only 4 other people that die. Our quotas. Yes, there was a cow. Yes, there was a goat. They both got fed to dinosaurs and they both died. So there we go. Was there any peeing? The lawyer on the toilet was definitely doing number 1 or number 2.
Himself, to be honest. So.
And then Tim, when he's in the car, he definitely did more than just throw up. Like I know like, the thing wasn't. I won't tell anyone you threw up. He's definitely peed those pants as well. I think. No pedos, no devils, no Nazis, and anything like that. I counted 54 dinosaurs in this.
I'm glad you did that because I counted 20 and I remember the Gallimimus scene. I was like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not as many as you think. There's only 2 scenes that have numerous dinosaurs in them, so 54. And then did they say the thing? Did they say Jurassic Park?
Oh, yeah.
I think they only say it 3 times. It's everywhere, obviously. Everything says, even like on the sign to the tour and all that says. It takes 21 minutes for John Hammond to say "Welcome to Jurassic Park." The trailer ready, he said the thing. But yeah, I think it's only said 3 times in the film. Chris, any stats from you?
Yeah, apart from the dinosaurs, I counted. John Hammond liked to say, "I was spared no expense," and he says it 5 times.
Really?
Hey.
Apart from that, that's all I counted.
And Andy, a most pornographic scene?
T-Rex.
Right, okay. Fair enough. That one. Okay, on to point 5. The 10-point podcast quiz. Andy is our quiz master for a
quiz.
Who wants to go first? There's an easy set of questions and a hard set of questions.
I think I went first last time, so I nominate Chris
I'll
to
go first, so this will be the hard ones.
Right, Chris, we'll rattle through as many of these as we can until I get bored or there's a clear winner. How many I'm drunk by the way. How many miles west of Costa Rica is the Isle of Nublar?
112.
No, Bruce.
154.
No, it was 120.
Oh, split in the middle. Right in the middle.
Bruce,
Uh-huh.
what is the first species of dinosaur we see in Jurassic Park?
We see or they see?
We see.
We see. I don't think we see the raptor, so I'm going to go Brachiosaurus, whatever it's called.
No, it was a raptor. You
Yeah.
actually see it.
I even passed over. I was going to say raptor.
Nope. Oh,
Okay.
you don't get it.
Do we see it? I thought it was just like
You see the side of his head.
Right.
He
okay.
sees like those head, which is enough of a raptor.
That was a free point.
Chris, where do we first see Dr. Grant?
Face down in the mud, digging up. No, he stands up to get his thing tied around his neck.
Oh, where?
Oh, where? Montana.
No.
The Badlands.
Yes.
I think it's
Was it in Montana?
But it does say the Badlands. So I
It's
think.
just the Badlands.
They say that he is in Montana, and then when they cut
Yep.
to him, it says the Badlands at the bottom.
Yep.
So
Bruce got it.
I'm not going to argue
Chris.
with
Oh,
you.
you got fucking passed over as well. I never got the raptor on passed over.
1-0.
Chris, what brand of champagne does Hammond serve in the camper van?
Oh, pass. No idea. I couldn't even guess.
All I remember
Yes, Chris.
is he passed over. Am I allowed to answer the
Yeah, you
question?
can answer.
All I know is it's Moat.
Yep, that is the brand. That is the
Mo-
correct answer.
I thought there was
Chris.
like a big logger name in the thing.
Is it Moe? Is that what you would call it? I think.
Yeah.
rather than-
I'll give him it. Chris, which Jeep does the team ride? Does the team ride when they leave the helicopter? What's the number? So Dr. Grant.
I don't know, 118.
No, it's not 118, Bruce.
5.
Not 5. It was 18.
Oh.
Ah!
Bruce, your question. What Jeep does Hammond and the lawyer ride in? Number?
17.
No. Chris?
15.
No, it was 29.
Ah.
Chris, how many eggs are in the nursery when the velociraptor
Fuck, I
hatches?
knew should have this. 7.
No, Bruce.
I was going to say 8.
No, it was 9.
Oh.
Bruce, what colour is the cow that gets hoisted into the raptor pen?
Black?
It is black. Yes, it is a black.
Hey.
Chris, what is the first dinosaur they see on the tour?
Brachiosaurus.
No. Bruce,
Oh no, fuck, that's not the tour, is it?
The T-Rex?
no, it's the Dilophosaurus.
No, it wasn't there.
It was meant to be, but it was the first dinosaur on the tour. I had to sign up saying Dilophosaurus.
The first dinosaur they saw on the tour was the T-Rex. I'm sorry.
Actually, they were meant to see.
Oh, was it the Triceratops?
Oh, I tell you, it was the Triceratops. Yeah.
Fuck off. Anyway,
Was that on the tour?
what's the scores?
2-1 to me.
Right, okay, can't do a couple more. Is it Chris?
Yeah.
Is it?
Which plant does
No, I got Brachiosaurus wrong, it's Bruce.
All right, me.
Chris? Which plant does Ellie think is harming the ill Triceratops?
Oh, Gilderberries or something. I don't
No,
remember.
Chris.
West Indian lilac.
Yes, it is. Jesus, he brought it back.
Always has
Right,
one
Chris.
like that every episode.
Chris, where is Dennis heading to when he left the office with the canister of DNA?
What? When he's leaving the office with the canister of DNA?
Yeah, where's he heading?
He's heading to a boat.
No,
Is it the dock?
I need more than the dock, Bruce.
The West Dock?
It was the East Dock.
Oh no!
Couple more. Who's next? 'Cause this one wants-
Bruce.
Need to start, yeah.
Bruce, how many volts of electricity is running through the T-Rex pen?
Is it 10,000?
It is 10,000.
Yeah.
Chris, what was Hammond's first attraction?
Flea circus.
It is a flea circus. Bruce, which dinosaur sneezes? His face is perked up.
Dinosaur sneezes. Triceratops.
No, Chris.
Brachiosaurus.
Brachiosaurus.
Damn it.
Okay, and it's 1-1. It's 1-2-1 to Chris. So, is
3 all from it.
it you all?
4-3, and we have had an even number of questions, I think. So
All right. Okay, so whoever gets the next question wins,
Right. Okay. Fair.
and it's a visual question for the YouTube listeners. It's a one-off one.
YouTube only.
Okay.
Right.
I want each of you. You've got 10 seconds
Uh-huh.
to recreate the jelly scene.
All right. Okay.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
I think we're posing.
I know you are. I was just giving you a countdown. See if anybody thought of something better. Bruce wins.
Yeah.
Does he look more encouraging? All you
Although
really
my
had,
thing kind of stopped. I was like shaking my hand and it just wasn't shaking.
somebody just had to go and get a spoon, and then they would have won. But yeah, Bruce wins automatically.
Probably
Yeah,
could
does
have
that look like a spoon?
That-
That's a brush.
Yeah, that was one.
Yeah, good quiz. Thank you. That was fun. Right.
3 points for Bruce in the end there. Well,
Yeah.
3 extra points.
Point 6 on the podcast says movies within movies. I've got my usual parodies and references and stuff. The first shot is basically the same first shot as Terminator, with the way the digger comes into
right, yeah.
same as the bin lorry does in Terminator. King Kong is mentioned. Pirates of the Caribbean is mentioned before it's a film, so I thought that in. There's a couple of direction shots. The way Spielberg shoots things is the same as Psycho. Specifically, when Dennis drops his stuff in the mud, is the same shot as at the end of Psycho. 1 million years BC is referenced, obviously with it being kind of similar things. Apparently, the vibrating cup with the water in it is taken from a film called The China Syndrome, where they had something similar with the shot of a cup with the water vibrating in it. The Shining, from the raptors chasing the kids around in the kitchen. I've got Return of the Jedi. I haven't verified this, but apparently the way the T-Rex reacts when it eats, I think it's the goat, or maybe it's the lawyer, is the same as the Rancor does when it eats the guy
Right.
in Return of the Jedi. It's exactly the same movements. And this one is something I was not aware of, but apparently it's very famous. This film references the Goonies. Are you aware of how this film references the Goonies?
No.
Every outfit, there are 3 of them, that Dennis wears in this film is an outfit that a Goonie.
Ah, is Chunk, and yeah.
So it's a Hawaiian shirt like Chunk, a kind of grey windbreaker like Mouth, and then the yellow raincoat is what Mikey wears in the Goonies.
My mind is blown.
I know, it blew out. I was like, oh my god, I had literally, if you just Google it, there's like photographs, everyone lines them all up, there's hundreds of them, but yeah. And for Never Not Good, it may be dinosaurs, but I've just gone for giant monster eats a human is Never Not Good. I always enjoy when it's like, oh, he's a person. Chris, the 10-point podcast universe.
There's quite a few again for this one. I nearly missed this one straight off the bat. Jeff Goldblum. I forgot he was in Hotel Artemis for all of a minute.
Infamously, yes.
Again, this one nearly slipped through. Ariana Richards was Lexi. Was a little girl in Tremors.
I missed that. I would absolutely have missed that. Yeah.
Samuel Jackson. He's Arnold One Arm in this. I thought he was going to be in more films, but he's only been in Triple X as Agent Gibbons with a scar on the side of his face, and he was in Django Unchained as Stephen.
We've not mentioned really Samuel Jackson. Why is he in this film? Like, he seems way too overqualified for the role he has in this film.
Ah.
Like, he's good and great, but like they could have had anybody play that role.
Yeah, this is a name I don't recognise, but I recognise the guy. Miguel Sandoval.
He's a very recognisable face.
Amber guy.
Yeah.
He is the bar entertainment supervisor from the best movie ever, Howard the Duck.
Yes, he is.
Speaking of which, Richard Kiley, the tour guide voice, he was Cosmos from Howard the Duck. He did the voice.
I knew I recognised the name, but I couldn't find any cross reference with him. That's weird.
And this guy only came up a couple of weeks ago. Robert Bobby Z is
Bobby Z, yeah.
He plays a helicopter pilot in absolutely everything
Yes.
that he's in. He was the pilot at the end of Cable Guy. His new friend.
The go-to Hollywood helicopter dude, I think. Yep. It must be old Bobby Z, yeah. And you've hit everything I had. I missed your narrator there. Haven't you recast this, Chris? I know you have, because
Andy recast himself. He put himself as Nedry. I put him purely because I think he said before, I'm so unappreciated in my time. Andy Nedry. But now he's
a very Andy line.
He would screw everybody over for money.
Yep.
I put myself as Dr. Grant just because I like dinosaurs so much. And I don't know why. I just put you as Muldoon.
Ah, okay, I'll take Muldoon. I put myself as Jeff Goldblum just because I didn't really know what to do. To be honest. I do like a bit of chaos at times. But yeah, I agree with your other two are spot on. Again, we've not really hit on Goldblum too much. he's in a different film to everybody else, isn't he? Really.
He's there for one reason. He's trying to pump Ellie.
I don't, but it's like he didn't go there because she was going to be there. He finds her, but I feel like I don't know why that character is
Never
involved.
mentioned it. It's the scene of them two in the car talking. He goes, "Oh, so is Ellie available?" And like, Gratz was like, "Is she fuck?"
Yeah.
The thing is, like, and like, I know people hate the second one. He is amazing in the second film. He's amazing in the voices of the games. He makes Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
But you're right. In this film, he doesn't seem like he wants to be there. He's
it's weird.
Yeah.
It's like the first helicopter scene was just making weird noises in the before the It's like, what are you going for, Jeff? I'm not sure. But it's memorable. Like, I'll take it. But, weird. Andy, have you done any recasting?
No, like this film, like you could, like, I would say Chris Pratt is obvious because he's now in it. But yeah, I can't imagine anybody else being anything else, and I don't think I want to see anything else. Like, it is what it is. Anybody else, I'd
make it.
Yeah.
Splash the T-Rex with a Mjolnir.
That's the thing. Anthony Hopkins did a Richard Attenborough.
Yeah, you've done something like that, but yeah, it wouldn't add anything to it. I could make this film funnier or weird or stays what it is.
The kids aren't even annoying. Like, you can't even be like, get them out. So, perfect. You can't
make the T-Rex the Rock and make Kevin Hart Grant instead they're chasing each other.
Point 7 then. Chris's Would You Rather. Chris, have you got a hypothetical choice making decision?
Well, yeah, so would you rather that the dinosaurs were real and just kind of roaming around, or that aliens were real? Or kind of living amongst them like Star Wars, like Mos Eisley?
Dinosaurs, because aliens would probe me and I don't want to be probed.
So you don't mean aliens like in Aliens, you mean just...
No, I mean just like it's Star Wars, you go to a planet and you're just walking amongst each other.
I'd probably go for I'd go for the Star Wars style rather than this, I think.
I wouldn't. I think the dating game would be too weird. You never know where the hole is. Like, if you all over the shop, you wouldn't understand the language. Whereas dinosaurs are like, they're over there. I feel like we can control the dinosaurs. We just put them in a pen, right? You're over there.
You think so? What film did you watch?
They'd want benefits. Like, no, I don't want any illegal aliens. Get them out.
I would go for the dinosaurs myself, like mostly because I just want like tame a T-Rex and just ride it along. They're like, "Fuck you, buddy."
Not for the same reasons as why I don't want aliens. Then
no.
I think I think the human race would be wiped out quicker by dinosaurs than it would be if an alien invasion. I think you've made the wrong choice. I think you've doomed us all. On to point 8, our nominations for the 10 Point Podcast Awards at the end of the season. Anyone want to go first?
I've got quite a few.
I've got a couple.
I've
got a few. They're short and sweet. Right. Biggest bell end, John Hammond.
I disagree with that.
But... He said he spared no expense. One, he didn't pay Dennis the right amount. His security lackluster. He definitely shouldn't have had a skeleton crew on when he was sending his own grandkids out on tour. He should have full staff. He created dinosaurs. There's a lot of arguments. And then he was eating ice cream when his grandkids fucked off. That's the last thing he did. He is the biggest. He is the villain.
I'm nominating him for worst father figure, Hammond. I know he's like a grandfather figure, but his treatment of it's like pretty much just using his kids as like test subjects or his grandkids is not a good way to go about things.
It was a close.
He is the villain through and through.
For Gennaro for ditching the kids, he was a close second to my Ned.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, Nedry. I don't know. Nedry probably is the best villain, maybe.
He's
I
not
thought the best villains.
Nope. No, I'm agreeing with that.
Is he the hero? He's the hero in your story, Andy.
I think he is. One, he was like trying to get the DNA off so that probably better scientists are willing to spend good money on like stealing shit, so they're going to do this properly. They probably got better pens, which we later found out.
That other company be like, I just gave that guy however much money and he's fucking died. I'm not going to see that money again. I'm not even going to get the dinosaurs. It's a waste of investment.
Yeah.
They didn't know that at the time. But yeah, anyway, best entrance. Anytime you can pick one of them, anytime the T-Rex turns up, whether it be plowing through a toilet eating a guy, coming through a fence attacking cars, chasing after a car, or eating a raptor. Any one of those, just T-Rex is the master of entrances. Yeah. There's no film where a character has appeared better every time.
And he's got sneaky.
Very good. Yeah.
And that's pretty much where my ones are, because you guys are going to hit everything else.
All right, on you go, Chris.
My Michael Pena was Grant's raptor story to scare the kids.
See, I went for Mr. DNA, but I'm happy to go with Grant's story. It was more of a Michael Pena than Mr. DNA was.
Speaking of kids, I nominated that kid for the most annoying kid.
Oh yeah, he would have been. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Was he there?
I know. Yeah, why was he there?
Whose kid is that? Like, you just scared my kid and just punched Grant in the face. My best inanimate object was the shaving cream with the embryos thing.
So I put the Jeeps, but I think your thing was a bit.
I went for the night vision goggles because I've always wanted.
Fuck! I forgot about them. Yeah, I'm happy to concede that.
All right, okay, a three-way tie, but we'll go with the goggles then. Yeah.
Best song. It's a massive park.
Jurassic Park.
Well, I've already known my biggest bail end. My best death is Gennaro in the toilet.
Yeah, has to be.
Yep.
My worst plan is when the power goes out, Gennaro just runs, and Dr. Grant and Ian do nothing. They just sit there and leave the kids to essentially nearly get killed by a T-Rex.
Why wouldn't you all get together? Like, why would...
As soon as it stopped, it's just all went and huddled together.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Remember, huddled, like...
I think, is it Malcolm? It's like, kids get scared, doesn't it? He's like, kids get scared.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're not doing anything about it either,
I was actually, I was like, maybe the kids are scared. I was like, I'm not scared. I never said you were scared. Well, I'm just saying I'm not scared.
I don't know if I haven't nominated for worst plan. I don't know if I have a worst plan, but Alan Grant getting the flare, attracting the dinosaur's attention, and then throwing it away for them
towards Malcolm.
Let's go. Oh, I've got one as well. Chase me down here. It was leaving. Why did you do that?
I think he did it because he thought, I'm in this film. I want to be part of this film.
Yeah.
I reckon that was an outtake.
Yeah, improv.
Yeah, 100%.
He refused to do it any other way. Take again, sorry, Jeff. No, I'm doing it. Flair, follow me.
He actually got hurt because his T-Rex just collapsed on him. I went for my best plan is Lexi's reflection trick.
Yeah. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Yeah.
That wasn't a plan. No, that was an accident. That was a happy accident.
Oh, she did it on purpose. She was like fiddling it.
Yeah. The way she got out after it bonged its head, definitely she was planning on that. Yeah.
I reckon I could punch a raptor in the face though, because like if I seen a raptor coming at me, I'd be like, no. If it kept coming, I'd be like, right, no. I'll just pop it in the fucking face.
This guy's like, swat raptor.
Yeah, piss off.
This gets me every time. The biggest jump scare is when Ellie switches on the power and the raptor comes up behind her.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Does it twice. Gets me every time. And my best quote is "Clever girl."
Oh no, my best line was, "That's a big pile of shit."
No, I don't clever girl because I always use it just like clever girl.
Yeah. Best animal apparently is the award we have. The T-Rex counts. I'm nominating it. Yep. I've gone for best supporting Jeff Goldblum just because I just enjoyed what he was doing. I'm not sure why. I
can't nominate a best actor because everybody was good.
Yeah, everyone's fine. Their job isn't to overshadow the dinosaurs, really. So everyone's kind of normal. Whereas Jeff Goldblum, I enjoyed his chaos that he was bringing. Best sets, I've already mentioned it. Most of the park, I would say. Best special effects has to be dinosaurs on, say, T-Rex if you want. Best plan, that's what I had. The Raptors getting Muldoon was the best plan because they planned that. That was a plan. Best score or something that hangs around, I'll nominate it for that. And I think that's me. Worst special effects, that herd of dinosaurs chasing them. And I think that's me. Stupidest character, the lawyer. Nobody in from stupidest character, just running away.
You built the park, you put all that money in, and then the lawyer's like, "Oh, we're not going to give you insurance."
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't need insurance. I've got fucking dinosaurs, mate.
That reminds me of the guy, the Amber guy. He's like, Hammond hates inspection. It's like, well, that's probably why his parks fail.
Exactly.
Not being inspected.
Right, they're on to point 9. The moral of the story. What we thought the lesson we're supposed to learn from Jurassic Park was. Mine's I thought too long and came up with nothing from my one. Proper security checks are essential, is what I had from my moral of the story. I think that's the lesson I learned here. Chris, what's yours?
Mine's are dinosaurs are never not awesome.
Fair enough. never not good. Still in my gimmicks here. And Andy, what's your moral story?
Life finds a way.
Life finds a way. There we go. That is the moral of the story. There we go. Nailed it. Point 10 is the 10-point rating where we rate the movie out of 10. Andy, you go first because you picked it.
Yeah, so this is a film I genuinely wish I got like the cinema experience of this first time around. However, I did go and watch it when it was like the 20th anniversary or whatever, and it's a film that just holds up. It doesn't make any sense. It's kind of, I always say, The Wizard of Oz. doesn't make any sense because that film was filmed in like the 1930s or whatever.
I think so.
And it's like Jurassic Park had the best special effects and still is up there with some of the best special effects. And it's like coming up to like a 30-year-old. It's insane. The stories, all the different stories are good. The boring bits are actually good because they make you feel something.
He's learning. He's learning.
You appreciate them more now.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I like a payoff, and sometimes it just everything pays off in this film. There's a couple of like the bits, but it has a payoff in the end. So this is a 10 out of 10 film.
10 from Andy. I went alphabetical, so I'm next. My little blurb I've written underneath for the temporary rating, it just says 10, then the number 10, and then the letter T, the letter E, and the letter N is what I've got written. So you can't improve on this. They tried to, and they haven't. Like, this is a blockbuster. This, whatever Jaws was to the 1970s, this was to the 1990s times a million. Like, it's incredible. Everything Andy said is right. Nothing is done wrong, and it created a franchise without trying to create a franchise. As in, it is a film. It exists as itself in a film, and that's all I asked for. So it's definitely a 10 for me as well. Chris,
that's it.
Pressure.
Podcast's over. We found a perfect 10 film. I give it 10 as well. I absolutely love this film. It's as close to perfect as you can get.
I'm with Chris. Like, I like a lot of films, and it's like it's not necessarily like the favorite film. Like, I do like Star Wars, but Star Wars has like lots of flaws.
Yeah.
This film as a film for me is just it's money. It works. I could put it on at any stage and go, this works. It's a good film. For
a film that's made in 1990, like I just said, the CGI and animatronics are immense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I love
I can't fault it.
They built a fucking dinosaur.
Yeah, really. Yeah. It's kind of out of time. Like, this film could come out now, and everyone would be like, "Oh."
I think if they tried to redo it now, I think it would just get the Star Wars effect. They put little things in the reason.
They did Jurassic World, and some of that CGI does not look as good as this one.
Yeah.
Like, I love Chris Pratt and all, but some of that CGI does not hold up against this CGI.
Well, speaking of that, what I do like the fact is it's the same T-Rex that has been through this film is in that film, because you see all the claw marks. It's a nice little touch.
Yeah, absolutely undefeatable. I think you can't really. I tried with low points, but you can't really knock it down. Perfect 10. Is that the first perfect 10? We've had a 10 before.
It's the first.
You fucked Die Hard.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, Die Hard.
And what was the other one? Andy fucked Forrest Gump by giving it a 7. So
okay, there we go. So yeah, we've completed it.
That's it. We can retire on the 10-point podcast now.
Yeah.
Prepare for film.
Yeah. The theme was people Andy's met. He's already outlined that he's met a couple of people from this.
Yeah, Ariana Richards and Sam Neill.
So we'll
and,
get.
And if you want to meet Ariana Richards again, you can see the live.
Yeah. And we'll get Andy's final film in 4 weeks or whenever it is. We look back around again. Next time is me.
I don't envy you picking a film now, because how do you follow up Jurassic Park?
Well, what I'm doing is I'm picking a film I've never seen before, which is always good. Always a good laugh.
Finally Doomsday.
It's not Doomsday. I can officially rule out Doomsday. Doomsday is not coming this season now. So we did a big film of the 1990s. So I'm staying in our sort of area, and I've gone to the 1980s for my one. 1986 is where we're heading. A fantasy action adventure starring Sean Connery and Christopher Lambert. It's Highlander, to stick with my Scottish theme.
That also fits my theme.
A lot of crossover here.
Multiple times. This series almost literally we've all picked each other's themes.
We've fit in very nicely. Is there anything in Highlander that is a futuristic invention that's come true for Chris's? I don't know.
Time travel.
Maybe. Yeah, I've never seen Highlander. I'm kind of aware.
I can't believe you've never seen that.
Never seen it. This is pretty much my theme this season has been educating myself on Scottish films that I've not seen, or Scottish kind of films I've never seen. So yeah, Highlander.
It's loosely Scottish, this film.
Yeah, yeah. I'll make sure.
Chris might pick a few holes in this bad boy.
Sean Connery is carrying a lot of the weight at this point, but I'm sure it is definitely Scottish other stuff as well. Yeah, there can be only one, I believe, is the tagline for Highlander. So you all have roughly 1 week, depending on when we record next, to seek out Highlander, and we'll see you next time on the 10 Point Podcast.